Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Campaign for second dose of COVID-19 vaccine begins in the Sultanate today. E-learning still has a long way to go in Oman, finds study. Omani donates more than 3,000 clothes to people in Tanzania. Oman celebrates World Environment Day. Death toll from adverse weather in Sri Lanka rises to 10, nearly 220,000 affected. World to pay heavy price if environment not protected, says the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Oman Cricket invites teams to register for new season. These were the top headlines from our news studio today. Let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
This is Maytha Al-Shukeli with today's weather update, and right now I'm reporting from inside the TFM studio in Al Khuwair. Now before we move on to our weather update, here is our fact for the day. Once the Empire State Building got struck by lightning 9 times in 20 minutes. That is our fact for the day, and now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in the Sultanate. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities saying that there will be scattered rainfall over some parts of Oman today. There will be clear to partly cloudy skies along the coastal areas of the Far and adjoining mountains. There's also chances of late night to early morning low-level clouds over the parts of Oman sea coast. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 37 to 29 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 39 to 30 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 34 to 30 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 39 to 29 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 50 to 32 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be sunny, temperatures between 49 to 34 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 47 to 31 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be expecting scattered rainfall, temperatures between 47 to 30 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 40 to 30 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 48 to 29 degrees Celsius. And the Far will also be expecting scattered rainfall, temperatures between 28 to 21 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV, you're watching Midday Update. Now before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate today. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 28 new death cases due to coronavirus in the last 3 days in the Sultanate. This has taken the total death toll in Oman to 2,413. The health officials have also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. Moreover, the Ministry of Health has today also announced the registration of 3,177 new coronavirus cases that was recorded in the last 3 days. The total cases in the country have now touched 223,879, including 204,480 recoveries as well as 2,413 deaths. According to the Ministry of Health, the recoveries that have been reported will be published later. The ministry urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the ministry and the Supreme Committee. And now from a local desk. The Ministry of Health has begun a vaccination campaign for the people who are due for the second dose of COVID-19 vaccine. A statement issued online by the Oman News Agency today said, the Ministry of Health begins a vaccination campaign for those who are due for the second dose of vaccines against the COVID-19. Each individual should have received the first dose before 10 weeks or more. Starting today, thousands of people across Oman will be injected with COVID-19 vaccines as part of efforts to vaccinate more and more members of the public to stop the spread of the pandemic in the country. As part of the expanded vaccination efforts by the Ministry of Health, during the month of June, all government workers, personnel from the military and the Royal Oman Police, and students attempting their high school diploma exams and their supervisors will be vaccinated. Target groups in June 2021 also include employees in oil and gas and the country's ports and airports, people aged 45 and above, citizens in the governorate of Musandam, and pilgrims. Health workers are to also be vaccinated during this phase of the drive, including those in the private sector who have not received their first doses. New batches of vaccines have already begun being used to issue second doses to people who have already received their first. On Friday, 4th June, visitors flocked to take the second dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine at various immunization centers in the governorate, said a statement from the Directorate General of Health Service of North Al-Batina. Vaccination of people aged 45 and above will begin during the third week of June, said the Ministry of Health. They also added that students under the Ministry of Higher Education, Scientific Research and Innovation will also be vaccinated. Health authorities have asked people currently eligible for vaccines to report to their nearest immunization center. All those who received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine at least 10 weeks ago are eligible for a second shot. A study on the efficacy of the e-learning format in Oman during the COVID-19 pandemic by Dr. Muhammad Al-Siabi, Dean of the Military Technological College, is among the research projects funded by the COVID-19 research program of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. Titled A Study of the E-Learning System Efficiency During the COVID-19 Pandemic in a Higher Education Context in Oman, the aim of the project was to determine the difficulties, complications, and potential solutions of the e-learning system implemented in Omani higher education during the COVID-19 pandemic. Principal investigator Dr. Muhammad Al-Siabi and his team, which consisted of Mr. Hussein Al-Rashdi, Dr. Abid Khan, and Dr. Tariq Hussain from the Military Technological College, used both quantitative and qualitative approaches that subsequently led to an explanatory, sequential, mixed methods approach in which a questionnaire, interviews, and an experiment were used as data collection tools. The participants comprised of academic faculty, students, administrative, and technical support staff from 4 different higher education institutions, including the Military Technological College, Sultan Qaboos University, Dufa University, and the University of Buraymi. According to Dr. Muhammad Al-Siabi, the main findings of the research project reveal that e-learning is more prevalent to produce good quality results for mature learners, and that the alertness and concentration level among young learners during online lesson delivery adversely impacts its outcomes. He added that there is still a long way to go to adapt to the e-learning mode of study with higher confidence in Oman, despite all the efforts, new teaching techniques, and advanced tools. He further stated that the research showed that assessment, which is an integral part of learning, is far behind to replace the conventional methods of supervised assessments, and there is a need to build a higher confidence level in the process. Based on the results, Dr. Muhammad Al-Siabi suggested to continue online education even after the pandemic ends through hybrid mode of education and find alternative e-learning assessment tools which can make the online assessment system more reliable and effective. Omani national Nasser Al-Jadami has donated more than 1,200 sweaters to school children and another 2,000 dishtashas to people in Tanzania during a trip taken to the African country during this year's Ramadan. Nasser, who has previously undertaken many aid trips to Yemen, taking with him convoy of trucks filled with tons of aid, including flour, clothes, medicines, toys, books, and many other items for those affected by the conflict there, organized his efforts in Tanzania with the help of the Asma Miwenyi Foundation. He said that this foundation is run by the daughter of the president of Zanzibar, and they organize a lot of aid for the needy in their country. She lives in both Tanzania and Zanzibar. Both places have different issues that need solving, but this time she needed help in an area in which she does not normally operate. Nasser had collected sweaters donated out of the goodwill of students and staff from Indian schools in Oman, which were intended for children in the city of Morogoro, some 200 kilometers from the capital Dar es Salaam. Nasser and his team spent 4 days in the city handing out these sweaters at the Dalai Primary and Secondary School. He said that it is only about an hour by plane from the capital, but from there it takes another 3 hours by road to get to where we handed out the sweaters. We gave more than 1,000 sweaters to children from grade 1 to grade 12. Once he had finished there, he went to the island region of Zanzibar. On the archipelago, he freely gave 2,000 Omani dishdashas to the needy. Because it was Ramadan, people in the area he visited also each received a kilo of dates so that they could break their fast. Oman joined other countries across the world to observe and celebrate World Environment Day today, which is observed on June 5th every year. This year, the slogan for the celebration is Reimagining, Recreating and Restoring, to highlight the revival of damaged ecosystems in various countries of the world. The Environment Authority said the Sultanat's participation with the countries of the world on this occasion comes as an affirmation of the continuation of work in protecting the Sultanat's environment, preserving the unique biodiversity, and making more efforts to protect the ecosystem and work on its sustainability for future generations. They continued saying that the Environmental Protection and Pollution Control Law issued by Royal Decree No. 114/2001 made environmental planning an essential part of comprehensive development planning in all fields in order to achieve the concept of sustainable development and give priority to the principle of protecting the environment and preventing its pollution. Coinciding with the global event, the Sultanate stresses the importance of preserving biodiversity and sustainable development in all its aspects. Therefore, it worked to consolidate the concept of preserving the environment, and it has dedicated to it a main axis concerned with environmental affairs among the 4 axes on which the Oman 2040 vision is based. World Environment Day was celebrated for the first time in the year 1974 with the theme Only One Earth. The focus of this day is on resetting relations with nature. This was all from a local desk. It is time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from International Desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. The death toll from Sri Lanka's adversely inclement weather conditions crossed tens on Saturday evening, while 219,027 people were affected, the country's disaster management center said. According to the latest official statistics, 8 districts had been severely affected by days of heavy rains and strong winds, while 15,499 people had been moved to safer locations. The Navy said earlier on Saturday that Navy teams, which had been deployed for emergency rescue operations, had rescued 29 people trapped by floods in the Puttalam district on northwestern Sri Lanka. According to the Navy media, the 29 people, including women and children, were from 10 families. They were trapped by rising flood waters in their areas and had sent out a distress call. A landslide warning has also been issued for some districts. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed officials to provide immediate relief for all people affected by adverse weather conditions, while the Irrigation Department has issued a flood warning in several districts. The Meteorology Department in Sri Lanka, in the latest weather report, said that heavy falls of 150 millimeters could be expected over the weekend, and the public were urged to be cautious, especially from heavy lightning. The department further said wind speeds were expected to increase up to 50 to 55 kilometers per hour in northern, north central, and northwestern provinces. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan on Saturday said that the world will have to pay a heavy price if the environment is not well protected and the issue of climate change and global warming is not addressed properly. Speaking at the Pakistan-hosted World Environment Day event in collaboration with the United Nations Environment Programme, Imran Khan said that the nature has given his country and the world another chance to mend its ways and take steps to protect the environment to overcome the losses humans incurred to the planet. Touching upon the issue of global warming, Khan expressed serious concerns over the glacier melting phenomenon in South Asia, including in the north of his country, stressing to take urgent steps to stop the melting. He said that global warming is affecting the whole world, but the countries whose water supply is dependent on glaciers, including Pakistan, will be worst hit. Over 80% of our water needs are met by glaciers, which are melting fast, and if the situation remains the same, a serious water shortage is feared to occur in the future. Talking about the measures taken by his country to protect the environment, Khan said that the government has launched the 10 billion trees tsunami program and 1 billion trees have already been planted, while 9 billion more are expected to be planted over the course of next 3 years. He also paid tribute to forest guards who faced challenges from the timber mafia, and some of them lost their lives in the line of duty. Khan urged the developed countries to help developing countries like Pakistan in their fight against climate change, because initiatives like planting 1 billion trees put an economic burden on his country, which is determined to protect the environment, not for its own sake, but for the world too. Once again, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from a sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. With a lot of international and domestic activity in the pipeline, Oman Cricket has called on senior division teams to register for the new cricket season that is set to see an early start. Premier Division League will start first in August, followed by A and lower division games in September. The online registration of Premier and A division teams with payment of fee will begin on June 15 and end on June 30th. The deadline for players' registration has been set as July 10th. Premier Division will see 50 over and T20 games. Season starts on August 13, while A Division will consist of 40 over and T20 tournaments on turf pitches starting on September 10. The 30 over B Division and 20 over lower division leagues will also start simultaneously on September 13 all on AstroTurf pitches across the capital. Last date for B and lower division teams registration is August 10, while deadline for player registration will be August 15. While the COVID-19 pandemic left the last season crippled and curtailed around the globe, cricket authorities are expecting a better 2021-2022 calendar to make up for the lost time. With International Cricket Council, commonly known as ICC, likely to announce new schedule of Men's World Cup League 2 games, Oman Cricket has decided to begin preparations by starting the season in August, 2 months earlier than last year. Oman may also be asked to host T20 World Cup matches if the event is moved to the UAE later this year. An early start to the season will also see its world-class cricket infrastructure in full gear and up to the task. Dates for Junior League and Women's League teams registration will be announced later. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.